This is today's Bible reading, Book of Psalm 110, Announcement of the Messiah's reign. The Lord said to my Lord, "Sit at my right hand, till I make your enemies your footstool. The Lord shall send the rod of your strength out of Zion. Rule in the midst of your enemies. Your people shall be volunteers. In the day of your power, in the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning, you have the dew of your youth. The Lord has sworn and will not relent. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. The Lord is at your right hand. He shall execute kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the nations. He shall fill the places with dead bodies. He shall execute the heads of many countries. He shall drink of the brooks by the wayside. Therefore he shall lift up the head. Psalm 144, a song to the Lord who preserves and prospers his people. Blessed be the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle, my loving kindness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield and the one in whom I take refuge, who subdues my people under me. Lord, what is man that you take knowledge of him, or the Son of Man that you are mindful of him? Man is like a breath. His days are like a passing shadow. Bow down your heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Flash forth lightning and scatter them. Scatter them. Shoot out your arrows and destroy them. Stretch out your hand from above. Rescue me and deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of foreigners, whose mouth speaks lying words, and whose right hand is an upright hand of a falsehood. I will sing a new song to you, O God, on a harp of 10 strings. I will sing praises to you, the one who gives salvation to kings, who delivers David his servant from the deadly sword. Rescue me and deliver me from the hand of foreigners, whose mouth speaks lying words, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood, that our sons may be as plants grown up in your youth, that our daughters may be as pillars sculptured in palace style, that our barns may be full, supplying all kinds of produce, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our fields, that our oxen may be well laden, that there be no breaking in or going out, that there be no outcry in our streets. Happy are the people who are in such a state. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord. Transition, prophetic account, Solomon's reign. David will always be remembered in two contexts. On the one hand, he is the sweet singer of Israel, the psalmist. But on the other hand, he is the man of war who defeated Israel's enemies. His son Solomon also has a dual claim to fame in the Bible. First, he is the one who constructed the temple. Second, Solomon is particularly tied to the wisdom tradition of Israel. The term wisdom tradition refers to a phenomenon that was widespread in the ancient Near East, especially in royal courts. This kind of wisdom stressed observation of the world and the search for the underlying principles of reality. Wisdom, in this restricted definition, is not very concerned with eternity. Its focus is always on this world and on human relationships. In both the narratives of Solomon's judgment and the literature attributed to him, Solomon is Israel's original model for the wise man. Now, book of 1 Kings, chapter 3, Solomon requests wisdom. Now Solomon made a treaty with the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married Pharaoh's daughter. Then he brought her to the city of David until he had finished building his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall all around Jerusalem. Meanwhile, the people sacrificed at the high places, because there was no house built for the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, except that he sacrificed and burned incense at the high places. Now the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, "Ask, what shall I give you?" And Solomon said, "You have shown great mercy to your servant David, my father, because he walked before you in truth, in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. You have continued this great kindness for him, and you have given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king instead of my father David. But I'm a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people, whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Therefore, give to your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil, for who is able to judge this great people of yours?" The speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. Then God said to him, "Because you have asked this thing and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern justice. Behold, I have done according to your words. See, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has not been anyone like you before you, nor shall any like you arise after you. And I have also given you what you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the kings all your days. So if you walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments as your father David walked, then I will lengthen your days." Then Solomon awoke, and indeed it had been a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, offered up burnt offerings, offered peace offerings, and made a feast for all his servants. Solomon's wise judgment. Now 2 women who were harlots came to the king and stood before him. And one woman said, "Oh, my lord, this woman and I dwell in the same house, and I gave birth while she was in the house. Then it happened the 3rd day after I had given birth, that this woman also gave birth, and we were together. No one was with us in the house, except the 2 of us in the house. And this woman's son died in the night, because she lay on him. So she arose in the middle of the night and took my son from my side while your maidservant slept, and laid him in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I arose in the morning to nurse my son, there he was, dead. But when I had examined him in the morning, indeed he was not my son whom I had born." Then the other woman said, "No, but the living one is my son, and the dead one is your son." And the first woman said, "No, but the dead one is your son, and the living one is my son." Thus they spoke before the king. And the king said, "The one says, 'This is my son who lives, and your son is dead one.' And the other says, 'No, but your son is the dead one, and my son is the living one.' Then the king said, 'Bring me a sword.' So they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, 'Divide the living child in 2, and give half to one and half to the other.' Then the woman whose son was living spoke to the king, for she yearned with compassion for her son. And she said, 'Oh, my lord, give her the living child, and by no means kill him.' But the other says, 'Let him be neither mine nor yours, but divide him.' So the king answered and said, 'Give the first woman the living child, and by no means kill him, She is his mother. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had rendered, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to administer justice. Chapter 4. Solomon's administration. So King Solomon was king over all Israel, and these were his officials: Azariah, the son of Zadok the priest, Elihoreph and Ahiah, the sons of Shusha, scribes, Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder, Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, over the army, Zadok and Abiathar, the priests, Azariah, the son of Nathan, over the officers, Zabud, the son of Nathan, a priest and the king's friend, Ahishar, over the household, and Adoniram, the son of Abda, over the labor force. And Solomon had 12 governors over all Israel, who provided food for the king and his household. Each one made provision for 1 month of the year. These are their names: Ben-Har in the mountains of Ephraim, Ben-Deker in Makatz, Shelbim, Beth-Shemesh, and Elon, Beth-Hanan, Ben-Hesed in Aruboth. To him belonged the Soko, and all the land of Hefer. Ben-Aminadab in all the regions of Dor. He had Taphath, the daughter of Solomon, as wife. Bana, the son of Ahilud, in Tanakh, Megiddo, and all Beth Shean, which is beside Zaratan below Zezreel, from Beth Shean to Adel Meholah, as far as the other side of Yokneam. Ben-Geber in Ramoth Gilead. To him belonged the towns of Yar, the son of Manasseh, in Gilead. To him also belonged the region of Argob in Bashan, 60 large cities with walls and bronze gate bars. Ahinadab, the son of Iddo, in Mahanaim. Ahimaaz in Naphtali. He also took Basmath, the daughter of Solomon, as wife. Bana, the son of Hushah, in Asher and Alut. Jehoshaphat, the son of Paruah, in Issachar. Shimei, the son of Elah, in Benjamin. Geber, the son of Uri, in the land of Gilead, in the country of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan. He was the only governor who was in the hand. Prosperity and wisdom of Solomon's reign. Judah and Israel were as numerous as the sand by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and rejoicing. So Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river to the land of the Philistines. As far as the border of Egypt, they brought tribute and served the Solomon all the days of his life. Now Solomon's provision for 1 day was 30 quarts of fine flour, 60 quarts of meal, 10 fatted oxen, 20 oxen from the pastures, and 100 sheep, besides deer, gazelles, roebucks, and fatted fowl. For he had dominion over all the region on this side of the river, from Tifsah even to Gaza, namely, over all the kings on this side of the river. And he had peace on every side all around him. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, each man under his vine and his fig tree, from Dan as far as Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. And these governors, each man in his month, provided food for King Solomon and for all who came to King Solomon's table. There was no lack in their supply. They also brought barley and straw to the proper place for the horses and steeds, each man according to his charge. And God gave Solomon wisdom and exceedingly great understanding and largeness of heart, like the sand on the seashore. Thus Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the men of the east and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, Chakor, and Darda, the sons of Mahol, and his fame was in all the surrounding nations. He spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. Also he spoke of trees, from the cedar tree of Lebanon even to the hyssop, that springs out of the wall. He spoke also of animals, of birds, of creeping things, and of fish. And men of all nations, from all the kings of the earth, who had heard of his wisdom, came to hear the wisdom of Solomon. Megiddo in Solomon's districts. 1 King 4, 7 and 12. Outside of Judah, Solomon's kingdom was divided into 12 administrative districts, each ruled by a governor. Many districts were primarily geographic and not tribal entities, thus breaking with Israel's earlier tradition. The districts were set up to provide administrative tax collections for the crown, and the appointed governor was in charge of raising revenue to support Solomon's administration in Jerusalem. The district of Judah appears to have been exempt from this taxation, a situation which did not create good feeling for Judah among the other tribes. Megiddo was a Canaanite town in the valley of Jezreel in northern Palestine. It apparently came under Israel's control by Solomon's time and was likely the seat of his fifth administrative district. It was also one of the major cities rebuilt by Solomon, along with Jerusalem, Hazor, and Gezer. Megiddo is listed among the cities which Pharaoh Shishak claims to have conquered in his Palestinian campaign of 925 BC. A number of buildings at Megiddo, including a palace, appear to have been destroyed by fire during this invasion. A portion of a stele, standing stone slab or pillar, recording Shishak's invasion was found at the site. The Shishak, also spelled Shoshonk or Shoshenk, set up a triumphal stele, possibly indicates that he desired to reassert Egyptian control in Canaan. Transition: the Book of Proverbs. The wisdom tradition of Israel influences several different biblical books, but its heart is in the book of Proverbs. The Proverbs are short, poetically matched comments on the world. They do not claim to be universal truth, but rather situational advice to be applied to different contexts. For instance, two adjacent proverbs in Proverbs 26, 4 and 5 give directly contradictory advice. The book of Proverbs is actually several different collections of proverbs. Chapters 1 through 9 contain relatively long strings of interconnected proverbs and a few extended wisdom poems. The sayings of Proverbs 10:1 through 22:16 are a less unified collection of individual proverbs, though there is some organization around themes such as human behavior and the inner person. Other collections in the book of Proverbs are to be dated later than Solomon's reign. Both of the first two collections are ascribed to Solomon. Many interpreters suggest that the attributions in Proverbs 1:1 and 10:1 do not necessarily refer to authorship, but are rather tributes to Solomon, the greatest of all the wise. Especially, the longer poems of chapters 1 through 9 have been considered to be later than Solomon's time. Other interpreters, though, accept the attributions of 1:1 and 10:1 as simple statements of fact. In either case, it is appropriate to read these wise sayings following the comment of 1 Kings that Solomon was wiser than all men. The collection of chapters 1 through 9 is a picture of the value of wisdom. Wisdom is personified as a woman pleading with men and women to pursue her. A strong contrast is developed between the fruits of pursuing wisdom and the corruption of following folly. Now the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, the beginning of knowledge. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, To the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and the man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Shun evil counsel. My son, hear the instruction of your father, and do not forsake the law of your mother, for they will be a graceful ornament on your head and chains about your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait to shed blood. Let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and whole like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious possessions. We shall fill our houses with the spoil. Cast in your lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path. For their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They lurk secretly for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone who is greedy for grain. It takes away the life of its owners. The call of wisdom. Wisdom calls aloud outside. She raises her voice in the open squares. She cries out in their chief counselors. At the openings of the gates in the city, she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? For scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn at my rebuke. Surely I will pour out my spirit on you. I'll make my words known to you, because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no one regarded, because you disdained all my counsel and would have none of my rebuke. I also will laugh at your calamity. I'll mock when your terror comes. When your terror comes like a storm, and your destruction comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They'll seek me diligently, but they will not find me. Because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, they would have none of my counsel and despised my every rebuke. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled to the full with their own fancies. For the turning away of the simple will slay them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell safely and will be secure without fear of evil. Amen. This is the end of the Bible reading today. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. God bless you. And see you tomorrow.